Hey guys, welcome back to another Facebook Live broadcast. Thanks for joining me today. I'm really excited to hop back in here. I know we haven't chatted in a little while. Things have been really exciting and full here. And so I'm excited to talk to you guys again. And I really love these Facebook Lives and just getting to know you guys and talking with you face to face and as much as possible. And so today is going to be really great. I want to talk about 3 simple ways to winterize your immune system this winter. So it's meant to supplement the newest blog post, which is up on the blog, and there should be a link to it either above or below this video, depending on when you're watching. And so everything that I say, I hit on in that blog post, but I wanted to hop in here and answer your questions and really see if we could interact. So before I get into that, I'm going to let some people trickle in here. I want to just give a shout out to the awesome booster tribe that's going through the online booster program. We have about 80 individuals who are in week 3, ending week 3, about to begin the last week of the booster this week. And there's just been so much progress in that group, physically, emotionally, just like coming together. And I just have to give a shout out to our tribe members. Of course, it's our online exercise program, building strength, balance, coordination, giving you some motivation and accountability, fully supported by myself and my team, Lauren, who's also moderating this Facebook Live event. So if you're interested in the booster, you can go to invigoratept.com/booster and read more about it there and get on board for our next go round. So without any further ado, I just want to go ahead and jump into our topic today. So we are going to talk about winterizing our immune system. And what brought this up for me was in my practice, I see clients one-on-one in their home, and usually my cancellation rate is very low. People do not cancel, which is why I love my job, because nobody ever cancels on me unless they have to go to a doctor's appointment. And so throughout the year, I can understand when you have an appointment with the doctor, you can't reschedule. We can reschedule. That's fine. But I notice that as winter comes, my cancellation rates start to rise. And it just seems like winter is that time of year that really knocks people off their game, and I think people come to expect that winter and the colder months are when they're going to get sick. And so I was noticing this trend start to hit here in Austin, and I wanted to just put out some information about how, maybe why we tend to get sick this time of year, and then what we can do about it to avoid that in the future. And the thing that really popped into my head was this idea and this concept of winterizing your immune system. We winterize our boats, our homes, our cars, our RVs. You can probably relate to something that you winterize. And so I wanted to kind of shift our mindset and think, if we do that to the things that we own, why not do that for ourselves that are the biggest investment that we have? And so for the most part, the reason why we get sick this time of year is not because there are more bugs going around. There's anything specific about this time of year. It's actually the same bugs that are around year-round are around now. But what happens this time of year is our immune system gets run down by a variety of things. And we're going to go through 3 different areas of your life that are usually run down in the winter months that you can boost right now and bring back up to speed. So what actually happens is our immune system takes a hit, and then those bugs that are around us all the time that our immune system is used to fighting off, our immune system can't handle it anymore. They get overrun and overburdened, and we get sick. And so my goal for you is to give you 3 strategies today to winterize your immune system. I'm going to give you lots of information, and again, you can supplement watching this by going to the blog and reading and taking notes on the blog post. But let's run through these 3 things. So the first thing, the winterizing strategy number 1, is to eat foods that heal you. So eating healing foods. The food that you eat, we talk about this a lot, can either, food is medicine. It can either build you up or break you down. And to aim the winter months to fill your plate, and all year round, but fill your plate with nutrient-dense foods that help provide your body with healing, healing elements and compounds instead of nutrient robbing foods like sugar and processed foods can help boost your immune system. So if you think about the winter months, what are we doing? We're going to Thanksgiving, we're going to holiday parties, we're going to, we're eating lots of sweets, we're just celebrating a lot, drinking lots of wine and all, delicious things, but those build up in our system. And every time you eat those nutrient robbing foods, your immune system actually acts on it, just like it would at any other invader, because your body's trying to filter out those toxins. And so its energy goes to keeping you safe from the foods that you're eating, and it has less energy and less resources to combat those stomach bugs and the common cold and the flu and all that good stuff. So I've made a list of some healing foods that I think you should start adding to your diet ASAP. And I know we've already had some feedback on the blog and on Facebook of people who are already, committing their winter months to doing this. So the first and most important thing I want you to add this holiday season and this winter season is bone broth. So if you haven't heard of bone broth, it's not actually anything new. It's an ancient elixir that's been around for years and years. And it's actually the way that our grandparents, or at least my grandparents, some of your parents or even your grandparents made your stock or your chicken broth. You took the scraps of the animal and put it in with your vegetable scraps, your herbs, your spices, your garlic, and you let it marinate and in a crock pot or a pot on the stove. And what happens is those bones and those kind of animal parts break down, and they actually seep out nutrients and minerals to make this really mineral-rich broth. And what we've done nowadays is we throw away the animal parts, and we don't make broth with those anymore. Excuse me. And what's unfortunate about that is our body really benefits from breaking down a lot of those animal parts. We've got glucosamine, chondroitin, osteochondroitin. So we've got we've got amino acids, we've got so many compounds that seep out from those animal remnants, and they make their way into the broth. And it may sound, for some of you who are just not really big on animal meats and proteins, it sounds a little bit strange, but you take all the scraps out at the end and you just drink the broth, or you make soup with it or whatnot. And it's actually really healing. It starts to heal the lining of your gut, which when the lining of your gut is stronger, less toxins come in, less bugs come in. It also helps you with indigestion. It can help you with energy. If you've heard of leaky gut syndrome, this is one of the best ways to, aside from taking out the things that are breaking down your gut lining, putting in bone broth or just, healing broth once a day, which I recommend having 1 cup a day, maybe even closer to the evening to help you settle down and, kind of decompress from the day. Drinking that right before bed every night can help you really heal your gut. So if I would say you're going to take anything away, you're like, okay, I'm done listening, take away bone broth. And on the blog, you'll find, and Lauren's going to list, I see she listed our recipe already for bone broth. It's some animal or beef bones. Sometimes I use chicken feet because it's crazy in Austin here. We've got organic vegetables, garlic. You throw in some apple cider vinegar to help you seep out the nutrients. Put it all in the crock pot for about 24, 48 hours and let it simmer on low. And then at the end, you just strain it out, and you can put the rest of it either in your refrigerator or you can freeze it in ice cubes to last a little bit longer. So if you don't do anything else, add some bone broth in and let me know how it goes. I would love to know if you are drinking bone broth right now. If you've already heard of it, just give me a thumbs up or shoot a comment to me below. I would love to hear if anybody out there is actually doing it as well. So that's our healing food number 1. The rest of these we're going to go through a little bit quicker. The healing food number 2 is cooked vegetables. And what I wanted to highlight about these is in the winter months, we want to be eating warmer foods, cooked foods that have been broken down just a little bit more, because our body can actually absorb those nutrients a little bit easier. And when compared to eating foods that are raw. It takes a lot more energy for our body to break down raw foods like lettuce and carrots that have not been cooked. When it hasn't been cooked, it takes a little bit more energy. So if we're already committing a lot of our energy of our immune system to the holiday season, then if we can cook our vegetables and absorb more nutrients there, that's a beneficial thing for you to do. And just warmer foods in general while it's colder outside help you kind of balance that out. So next up, the next healing food is a probiotic. And if you take a probiotic, just give me a thumbs up or shoot me a comment below. But probiotics help to feed the bugs in our gut. And we all have them, we all need them, and they do a big part in providing immune system support. So those bugs in our gut are our first line of defense when we consume things, through our mouth when we eat. And so the more diversified your gut bacteria is, the more diversified your immune system is going to be. There's so much research out there that supports the link between your gut and your immune system and your brain. And so eating foods that are probiotic rich, like fermented foods, can also help build your gut bacteria. Kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi, those are a few fermented foods that you can add in. But I always recommend a probiotic, and there's a brand that I really like called Prescript Assist, and Lauren can put a link down below. So if you're looking for a specific probiotic, I really like Prescript Assist, and you can find that on Amazon, very easy to find. So a probiotic or probiotic-rich foods. Throw in some sauerkraut, some kefir, organic kefir, and you'll be helping your gut out tremendously. Okay, the next up is garlic. So garlic actually has some compounds in it that specifically help to bolster your immune system. Not rocket science there. We just cut it up, crush it, and it releases those compounds. So throw some garlic in with your sauteed cooked veggies. Throw some garlic in with your bone broth, and you'll get a lot of those compounds. So eating garlic this holiday season, just carry a breath mint with you. I personally love garlic, and I would eat it on almost everything if I could. And then we've got this next tip is I'm going to actually tell you that it's okay to eat dessert, but I want you to stick with me for a second because you might think, Sarah, you just said that breaks down my immune system, sugar and stress, and eating dessert, wouldn't that kill my immune system even more? And I've learned that taking away people's dessert is almost as detrimental as people eating dessert. When you feel like you have that dessert taken away from you, it's going to be presented to you this holiday season. You're going to have plenty of things that you can munch on that are sweet and delightful. And so what I would encourage you with dessert is there's one caveat. If you're going to have dessert, pick a dessert that's been homemade by someone that you love. So if you're one of my clients watching this, you probably know if you've ever tried to feed me dessert or sweets, if it's homemade, I'd never say no because it's made with love. It's coming to you with love. Eat it, enjoy it, and try not to go back for seconds. But if you pass up, the Snickers and the store-made cookies and the store-bought pies, those things that you can get year-round, they're not really special to the holiday season. So reserve your desserts for those things that have been made with love for you, and enjoy them, and stop at one if you can. So that's my tip on dessert this holiday season. And then we've got one more healing food that actually isn't a food. It is a liquid, and it is water. And you've been around me for a while. You know how much I preach on water. And so there's a blog post that I wrote all about how to stay hydrated. But it's important this holiday season because fluids, which we're going to talk about here in a second, they flush out your immune system. So when you're dehydrated, your toxins that your body's working really hard to process, they get stagnant. So if you're not hydrating properly and drinking water to flush out your cells and flush out your gut, then all of those toxins your immune system's working really hard to process never filter through and out of your system. And the reason why that's important is because if it pulls out toxins and then it stays in your system, your immune system's going to keep trying to process, and that takes up a lot of energy. So making sure that you're staying hydrated, drinking half your body weight in ounces of water, building up to that, starting to get rid of the sodas and the teas this holiday season, That's just an overview of hydration, but again, you can visit that post on the blog too to get more ideas about how to stay hydrated properly. So we are going to move on to our winterizing strategy number 2. So we talked about healing foods as our first strategy. Our second strategy is all about flushing out toxins. And the way that we do that is through circulating fluid in our body. So we've got blood, we've got lymph, we've got all kinds of fluids in our body that need to be circulated. Again, if they get stagnant, it's kind of like that pond that just the water's not moving and it just sits there and it starts to grow crazy things and doesn't smell very good. And, we need to circulate fluid in that same way in our body. So there are, our cardiovascular system circulates blood, our heart pumps, it goes out to our body, out to our muscles, and it comes back. Our lymph system, it's more superficial in our body, and it carries a lot of our lymph, which is a big part of our immune system. And that also gets eventually dumped into the heart and a bunch of other places. But the important part of what I want you to take away from here is we want to focus on some techniques that help circulate fluids in our cardiovascular system and through our lymphatic system. So the first way to circulate blood through our cardiovascular system is, what do you think? Exercise. You've heard it before, but as our heart pumps, as we increase that frequency of pumping our heart, it circulates fluid. We want to see if we can get our heart rate up. It'll make you breathe more to filter out those toxins that are in your lungs. So pneumonia is simply fluid that's been sitting in your lungs and not coming out. So if we can get up and move our bodies, use our muscles, get our lungs moving, our heart beating, we're circulating fluid and getting out those toxins from our muscles, from our digestive system, and we're circulating air and getting fluid out of our lungs. So we sit a lot over the holidays, and that's where that fluid builds up in our lungs, and we want to avoid pneumonia at all costs this holiday season. So get out there 20 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day. Again, I'm going to talk about our free 30-day challenge that we're opening back up, which we can definitely get you involved in to get you some exercise this holiday season. We're going to talk about that at the end. But getting exercise and getting outside or inside, just doing something, know that you're circulating fluid. You're not just helping your Parkinson's symptoms, you're circulating fluid and flushing out toxins. So get a sweat going, embrace it, and really love it. Okay, so that was our cardiovascular system, flushing out of toxins there. And then we're going to flush out toxins from our immune system, or from our lymphatic system. And the way that we do that, there are a couple techniques actually, and I know that a few of you use the whole body vibration because you've told me about it. So if you are here and you use whole body vibration, just give me a thumbs up. But what that is it's either you take your body and you either stand or you lay on a vibration plate. And what that does is that gentle vibration helps to stimulate the lymph nodes or the lymph system that's really superficial in our skin. It's right under the top layer of our skin. It's very superficial, and the vibration can actually help to stimulate lymph to be pushed back up to your heart. And also something called rebounding, which rebounding is jumping on a small trampoline. It helps stimulate, it helps you contract your muscles, helps with balance, but it also helps to gently stimulate your lymph system to get some circulation and flush out toxins then. So if you were looking for an excuse to jump on a trampoline this holiday season, I'll give you one. Just be safe and have a spotter if you need one. So that's number 2, winterizing your immune system. Number 2 is flushing out toxins by moving more. And then we come to my favorite actually, number 3, winterizing strategy, which is cultivating a healing mindset. And so I just want to kind of give you an example, a thought experiment. If you have ever been at the grocery store, you're standing in line and that person behind you starts to sneeze and sniffle and cough a little bit, and you turn and they say, "Sorry, I'm just not feeling very well." And then you kind of look at them and you think, "Oh my gosh, I don't want what you have." And then all of a sudden your throat gets kind of tickly and you start to, get like a little bit of a headache. I know that happens to me because you just think your way into feeling sick because you've seen it, you think that you're at risk for it. And this, I think, happens so much in the holiday season. Your body is just a tool, and it follows whatever your mind tells it. So there's this saying that I love, which is your body will achieve what your mind believes. And this can be either good or bad. And so maybe this is you. You can either give me a thumbs up or shoot me a comment or just think to yourself, what am I telling myself every winter? Do I tell myself, oh, it's flu season, I always get the flu? I always catch a cold. I always get sick over the holidays. And I know this is more people than not. Yeah, I see some thumbs up coming in. You're not alone. And I think this is a byproduct sometimes of our media and just the amount of information we get thrown in the winter months telling us that it's flu season and it's time to get sick. And when you hear that everybody else is getting sick, you think, well, I'm not immune to that. I'm going to get sick too. So my challenge to you is to start to reframe this mindset, because when we start to worry about getting sick, it lowers our immune system response. You can, call it law of attraction, or you can just call it science. What you put out into the universe, it brings back to you and just mirrors whatever you want. So I want to flip this on its head and use it to our advantage. And I want you to just observe your thoughts this holiday season. Anytime you feel like you hear yourself saying, I hope I don't get sick, or I always get sick this time of year, or I think I feel the flu coming on, anything that might seem benign but is kind of targeted towards telling yourself you may be sicker than you are, I want you to just catch that thought, observe it, and then I want you to replace it with a thought and an affirmation that chooses something else. I choose to feel resilient, strong, and healthy in this moment. And you can revisit that affirmation anytime you have that other negative thought. You can just observe it and say, I choose to not believe that anymore. I choose to feel strong, resilient, and healthy in this moment, and feel that, actually feel those feelings. What does it feel like to feel strong and healthy and resilient? And channel that energy, because what you expect, or what you get what you expect, pretty much. So that is kind of the mindset. And within that also comes this pressure to always say yes over the holidays. I know there are a lot of people out there, and you can give me a thumbs up or shoot me a comment if you feel like you just can't say no to holidays. People invite you to dinners, they invite you to holiday parties, they invite you anywhere that, just to get together over the holiday season. It's communal, it's fun. And if you get an invitation and you don't feel good about going, you just feel that voice inside you telling you that it's maybe not the healthiest, or, it's just not where you want to be, then listen to that and just generously say no. I give you permission to say no to those things. Save your energy for spending time with people who fill you up, who mean a great deal to you, and don't feel guilty about not spending time with the people that maybe don't mean as much. The time doesn't mean as much to you. And that may seem harsh, but I think we just overcommit ourselves because we feel guilty. But if you show up to an event that you don't want to be at, how many people show up to an event and they don't want to be there, and all of a sudden they've got a headache, they've got a stomach ache, you're just really tired. That's your body telling you, just expressing your thoughts. You don't want to be there, so your body's going to make you sick to not be there. So I give you permission this holiday season to not feel guilty and to say no to the things that drain you and to say yes to the things that build you up. So that is the end of cultivating a healing mindset. That was Winterizing Strategy number 3. So we have these 3 strategies, just to recap. Number 1 is eat healing foods. Number 2 is to circulate fluids. And number 3 is to cultivate a healing mindset. And with those 3 strategies, I think that you can get through this winter season feeling great, entering into 2017 and this next year, feeling more energized, healthier, and stronger than you went into the winter months. So I hope that those work for you. I would love to hear your feedback. If you want to shoot me a comment and say, I'm going to try, this one food, or I'm going to try the mindset. Just shoot me a comment and let me know what you're going to try, maybe that one thing you're going to try. And again, you can visit the blog post to remind yourself of what we talked about today. And I also wanted to encourage you, if you need some help getting motivated and circulating fluid and flushing out toxins, we are reopening our 30-day Parkinson's Movement Challenge. We've done this on and off in the past. It's a really simple challenge from me and Lauren to you to get 2.5 hours of exercise every week. I said day before, 2.5 hours of exercise every week for the next 30 days. And where that comes from is the National Parkinson's Foundation did a research study that said if you get 2.5 hours of vigorous exercise every week for a month, then you will feel less inhibited by your Parkinson's symptoms. So I challenge all of you to do it if you haven't done it before. I know a lot of you watching probably have. But if you're interested in joining, you can go to www.invigoratept.com/30-day challenge. And when you sign up at that website, you'll get a starter kit from me, you'll get a workout worksheet from me, and you'll get all kinds of videos and resources that you can access and use to fill up your 2.5 hours each week. So if you want to get in on that, you can visit the 30-day challenge webpage. And if you are watching this replay, I know a lot of you are watching it live right now, but if you watch this on replay later, you can come over to our Facebook page, facebook.com/invigoratept&wellness, and see these updates live. I'm going to do my best to come to you every Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Central Time to talk about different topics that you're interested in. So if you have questions, I would love to hear from you. I always take these topics from real people and real clients, and if you have a question, I would love to answer it. So I don't think I saw any questions come through. Lauren's giving me a no. So if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments when we hop off here. I'll do my best to hop in there and answer them. But otherwise, I hope you go into this holiday season feeling energized and strong, and let me know how these techniques work for you. So I hope you have a great night, and we'll see you next time. Bye.